Well, is are all certainly welcome back to the channel and to the podcast. I said I'll pop on, chat about the weekend, about the games coming up as well. We obviously have Kilmarnock in the league, and then we also Kilmarnock away at Hampden, and then we're off to play Dundee towards the end of the month, and then we have St Mirren as well at Celtic Park. So a lot of tough games to go, but it was obviously a lot of people mixed emotions about the result the other day, and we're going to talk about that on the channel as well. If this is your first time viewing the channel, please do subscribe. If as well, get the comments in and tell us where you're watching from as well. Would be really appreciated. So, yourself that mostly runs the channel. My name's Keith. If you're not sure, you've ever heard of me. I'm a Celtic fan from Dublin that lives in Glasgow, and I try to go as much games as I can. Don't get to go to much games because I'm back in Dublin all the time. But here I am. So to pop on, have a chat with you. Late notice, didn't give any notice. I just said, feck, I'll pop on. So yeah, I want to talk about VAR. I want to talk about Kilmarnock. I want to talk about the game as well. I also want to talk about transfers since we're in January as well. I want to talk on your output as well about who should go out and who should come in as well. And I want to talk about Joe Hart as well. So I've loads to talk about in the next half an hour to 40 minutes. As I said, do subscribe, come on this obviously just to chat to you. So no comments so far. Want to get his reaction on the game as well the other day. If you said to me this time last week, would you take a draw at Ibrox minimum? I would have said yeah. But preferably everybody wanted the 3 points. And let's be honest, we weren't even near the level where we could have been at. We weren't even near even third gear. And to conduct ourselves in that way, to get a draw there, considering they were 3 or 4 minutes away from winning the game, and we pulled off, you know, Kyogo beauty into the top corner. It just says about Celtic that we never stop. And to be honest, my honest opinion on this as a Celtic fan, I just think his selection was horrendous. I think he could have started Aaron Moy. Don't get me wrong, I've said this already in the channel. Matt O'Reilly put in a good graft work, but he wasn't, the solution. He wasn't pushing up and being attacking. Matt O'Reilly that we've seen in recent times, and you know, Jovanovic coming on for injured Greg Taylor. You could have played Berta Bay there. Jovanovic wasn't constructive, wasn't at the level where he could have been. I know people say he's a right back, give him a bit of slack, but come on, this is a guy that we value over 20 million. He should be able to play that. He's played left back before, played left back to start his Celtic career anyway. So that's why I'm not defending him. That's why I'm not defending him, because I've seen him play left back before, and I think if we're going to get rid of this guy, we need to keep the valuation, keep him consistent as well. But the whole SFA thing, look, at Celtic are on the verge of obviously meeting up with the SFA. They want a bit of clarity how this VAR is being operated, because I just feel like I'm going to say how it is. I've no filter. I just feel like it's just biased against Celtic. And you're going to get other fans from other clubs copping on and say, you're only saying this, you're only saying that. Okay, I seen a picture today that was on Twitter. Since 2016 up to now, Rangers have a goal deficit of penalties and rewards them of a plus 28. Plus 28. Celtic have an 8. 8. So there is corruption there. We're going back to the Hearts game start of the season where James Forrest wasn't given a penalty. Berta Bay had his hands behind his back and he still penalised him. We got Abada scoring against Livingston. Player laid him on, headed the ball to him, still was considered offside. You go back to Matt O'Reilly being penalised, and there you get Conor Golson, stonewall penalty, not even checked on across the screen near the dugout. It's absolutely shambles. It is shambolic. It is a disgrace. Like, these are referees that get to officiating UEFA competition, so it's not like they're not shy to VAR. Some of them have already used VAR, like Willie Collins used VAR. John Beaton's used VAR, but the blue tints are on, and I don't care what anyone says. John Beaton was absolutely shitting his brick officiating that game the other day. He has officiated the game before, and he's done one or two decent games, but overall, long term, But what he's officiated between the 4 or 5 games, Celtic and Rangers, he's been shambolic. And I'm not going to come out and keep blaming the ref for everything, but it's a trend of what keeps happening each week, every week. It's not just me that's saying it. There's other YouTubers saying it. These are saying it in the comments there. It's the same stuff. Do you think nothing's going to change? Look at, I just think the SFA will need to sit down with our referees and say, look at, like, what's going on? Like, these guys are not even being asked questions at the end of the game. They're just getting away with it. But it's like, it's an absolute joke. But it's a big point, you know. We're still 9 points clear. I don't want to come on this and sound like I'm a Moany Mick or anything like that, or a Moany Keith or whatever. I'm just being honest with you. You know, I'm just saying it every single week. We're getting robbed. And if the decision's right, and we say, right, look at, fair enough, we're in the wrong, I'll admit it. I've no problem coming on and saying, well, you know, that was a Stonewall penalty, you know, against us. We should definitely, you know, like, that's the way football works, you know. I just feel like the decisions, like, why did clubs play for this technology to be brought in and it's not being used to the best potential? I don't think it's a problem with the actual technology itself. I think it's the problem with the people that are using it. No, I'm not getting the decisions right. It's not just Celtic, it's happening for other clubs as well. You know, it's definitely not happening for that club across the other side of Glasgow. And look at, I'm not in any panic mode. I think we're in great position. I think we're, you know, you've 38 games to play in the league the whole season. I think we're front runners to do this, win the league. I think overall, the football we've been playing second half, and everyone always says Ange's second season is the one where it makes him, defines him. So we're in a good position. We have a league semi-final to play next week against Kilmarnock. You know, we're 9 points ahead of our closest rivals. Still have to play them twice. One at Ibrox and one at Celtic Park. And I think by then, hopefully, by first week in March, we'll have the League One. But there's a lot of football to play. It's, you know, we can't be slipping up. We just have to be consistent, and we don't want another Saint Mirren slip up. We don't. Okay, yesterday people might say, well, on the board that's a draw, but the draw that we fought hard earned in the last 20 minutes of the game, and I know we're champions, and they just don't want us to play. Simple as that. They don't want us to play. At the end of the day, they want us to fail, and that's okay. And you know, we're still playing good football, and you know, the superior goal difference there, plus 20 goal difference, and you will see what the other comments are coming through. Let me see. Yeah, I can agree with you there with slowing down the play. Definitely. I don't. I think it's you get. I seen it. I seen it at the Ross County game back before the international break, the World Cup break. That the referee, you know, blowing the whistle, frustrating it, and that was probably one of the worst referee decisions that game. I think that was Robinson that was refereeing that game, because there's so, you look at the amount of referees that have been so, you know, biased against Celtic, if you want to say it in that way. Some people might say that we're corrupt, but I just don't think that they're playing to the potential that they should be. The bet, like, what they're getting paid for in some aspect for doing, you know. Just don't think they're at that level. But look, we move on. We gotta move on. Let's see what happens with the club. Let's see what happens with the SFA. A lot of these, I said, nothing won't be done. You know, the SFA might come out with a statement saying that they've had a discussion with Celtic and they've given Celtic the guidelines for VAR. You know, we'll see what happens. Looks like we're going to be bringing in them two South Korean strikers. I don't think Kai is going to happen. I just think they're trying to milk more money. To be honest with you, I don't think that's going to happen. I know we were looking at a Korean midfielder as well from Bason set in K League 2. I don't think that's going to happen. Obviously, we've brought in Jesus Tomaki. So yeah, looking forward to seeing Kawabashi. Looking forward to obviously seeing Tomaki playing as well. We've seen it. We've seen a glimpse of Alistair Johnson, what he's capable of doing. You know, we have to see. We'll have to see. Look at, there's obviously not enough referees that have the mentality to referee a Glasgow derby. It looks like, I don't know. I put up a post on the Instagram and the Facebook literally 24 hours before the game saying, hope he doesn't screw us over. and he just it was over. Not just once, twice. You know, well, yeah, it is what it is. Gotta speak my opinion. People don't like it. Nowhere to go. No one's asked you to watch the channel. No one's asked you to subscribe to the channel. If you don't like the channel, it's not my fault. That's why I speak. Hail, hail. I hope you are well, comrades. Happy New Year. Not too bad. Obviously, there's a rounds going of this flu and the sore throats going around, but I don't have COVID anyway, so just doing well. Obviously, the other night I was in bed by 10 o'clock. I know I'm letting the slide down. I was in bed by 10 o'clock on a Glasgow Derby night. Too much drinks. Too much drinks, to be honest. But you got the video on me. He's got the post match reaction on me. I met a guy in the pub in Gallagher's on the day of the derby, and he gave me a lovely comment about the channel. He said that his dad watches me. He said he loves the passion. He says, Keith, you're not statistics, but your passion for Celtic, you can't buy that. You cannot buy that on YouTube. You have the passion. I'm like, of course I do. You know, I don't sit there and whip out loads of stats like Monday Night Football or have a fancy studio or have this. I'm just who I am, folks, and I appreciate is watching my podcast or when you donate or when you say lovely comments. You know, I'm not here to make money. I'm just here to be me and give away a point like the way you used to. I don't like sitting there and typing stuff on a Facebook channel or a YouTube channel. I'd rather just say it. That's the way I operate. You know, it's the way I operate. So let's go through the comments. It's just tell us where you're watching from as well. He couldn't do us any favors. It doesn't. It shouldn't be down to being Celtic or Rangers fans. Let's be brutally honest there. It should be just down to you have a job. Be neutral about it. Be neutral. If the decision's right, decision's right. If it's wrong, and you get on with it. You know, like just show a bit of consistency, show a bit of clarity. That's all we're asking. All we're asking, you know, because it's just getting sick to the stage where I have to come on every single week and have a moan about a referee. I don't want to be doing that. I don't want to be slandering referees, to be honest with you. I just want to be talking about our players, about what their potential is, how they play the game, what I'm saying good. I don't want to be sitting here and talking about a referee. I'm not Alex Ferguson, you know. I don't want to be here having a moan about a referee and looking for Fergie time. You know, Fergie was a phenomenal manager, you know. Mm. It's been going on for ages. Been going on for ages, John. You know, should get Haksabanovic should be back for the weekend. And said the other day, before the obviously done the press conference, said that he's been training hard, but he's not taking a chance with. And hopefully it's the same with Ralston as well. To be honest with you, hopefully Raldo will be back because it'd be good. It'd be healthy competition to have Jovanovic if he's still at the club, Ralston and Johnson. You know, more options the better. I don't know why he started James Forrest against Rangers. To be honest, I don't know if it was down to experience. Was it down to cover? Now we did come around and say a couple of times during that week, maybe Forrest will play because he knows the fixture quite well. He knows how to get under Kent's head and do the tracking back. But I just felt like, it should have been Jota. It should have been, obviously it was made, it should have been Yakamakis. And I know people are going to disagree with me on the channel. Look, these are all his opinion. I'm not here to start drama, but there's something going on with Kyogo. And you might laugh and say, well, Keith, you're talking absolute shy because he's 16 goals. Kyogo is known for his work rate off the ball, chasing. I know to some people that's not a striker's instinct, but I just felt like he was just off the pace from majority of the game. I think around the 70th minute, he started, chasing everything down. And look, he got the goal, well-deserved goal, because I was at one point when I was watching that game the other day, and I don't know if you're going to agree with me or not, I was screaming, take him off, bring Yakamakis on, and look at Ange didn't do that. He left him on, and he got the goal, and it was a lovely finish. And I just don't know what's going on with Kyogo. As much as his stats are good, He's a prolific striker. He's a good striker. It's just he's missing something this season. I don't know if it's a case that we weren't used to seeing this last season, where he was, we had that kind of that Henrik Larsson feel about him. Like, came into the club, the fans were loving him straight away, scoring the League Cup final, then 2 goals. We're all loving him, scoring hat-tricks and stuff. Is it just that he's more settled? The sports science team, I said to reserve your energy towards the end of the game. but we never stop. I don't know what it is, to be honest, which is I just think there's something missing with Kyogo. The same with Matt O'Reilly as well. You might call me conspiracy theory, whatever you want, but I'm seeing it from my eyes, and that's my opinion. Um, let's see. Bernabeu needs to run the team. Well, if Taylor's out for a couple of weeks, or how long the damage is, I don't really know how bad his hamstring injury is. Obviously, get him a run in the team, get him a run the team. And this is what we brought Bernabeu in. Like, this is a guy that we bought from Lanos for what, 3.5 million at the time from Argentina. So back him, like, this is a guy that was, I think we bought him more than we bought Greg Taylor off Kilmarnock. And look at Taylor's been, he's been a phenomenal servant in the last 12, 13 months. And a guy that I've said many times on the channel, I doubt it. And he was a miss when he came off when he went off the other day when he was injured. And speedy recovery, definitely. Keith, do you think the refs should be mic'd up? 100%. Do like rugby. Do like rugby. To be honest with you, I don't think they will, because obviously there's does be a lot of rugby players are different to football players. They have the respect for the referee. Even as we mentioned, of any F off or anything like that, they're gone. I think it's more leniency in football, to be honest. I love to see it being done. And I think, it's not going to be done because you're going to see the likes of the big competition like a World Cup or the Euro to be trialed out first. And it's not a bad suggestion. That's a good point. David, thanks very much for this one. This is what I was wanted to talk about anyway. Joe Hart, his position the other day, he needed conceding a goal from Morelos' mistakes. And as this is not just the only time this has happened this season, it's happened last season as well, where he's close to giving away a stupid goal like that. I think Joe Hart, as much as I love Joe Hart, and he has, leadership skills in there, and I think he's more known as Joe Hart. It's more the ego than the player in this right, to be honest, which is I know you might disagree and say, oh well, that's a bit harsh on Joe Hart, but that's what I think it is with Ange with this. I love to see Benjamin Seacrest come in. I'm not saying Joe Hart is terrible. I think Joe Hart was a massive part of our success last season, and he has a couple of good clean sheets this season. But when that ball gets back to him, my God, anxiety kicks in. And I think we need a keeper that has more steady feet. Even during the game, he was at his nearly at his halfway line, and you're playing against a team away from home. That's your closest rivals. I think it's stupid football. And I know Ange is a part of that, and the defensive coach is a part of that from implementing that style of football, and so it's helped us. But no, we don't put Joe Hart 40 yards out, wait in his box, and argument's sake, could fall. They could capitalize and get counter attack. I think it's ridiculous. I think Seacrest needs to come in. Has been consistent and inconsistent since day one. The only thing has changed is obviously his quality. Obviously, his quality got better over the World Cup with Croatia. I think we need to get rid of him and make the money off him, and so we can go out and start. Look, even if you get a decent fee and put 2 or 3 million additional for another striker, all means yeah. I think we're really lacking in the department for regards to strikers. Maeda can play as a striker. Yakimakis is not getting much game time, and there's talks of Midtjylland looking at him, and they're not willing to pay 6 millions as well. Nonsense. I just speak my mind. As I said, it's if you don't like my opinions, kill. I heard Ange will leave at the end of the season because the board said, "Oh, no, okay." I don't believe that whatsoever. You know, that's it. He'll do us. He'll do us. And you got to think of long term as well, to be honest, Catholic Rebel. Like, with regards to Joe Hart, I'll go back to Joe Hart conversation for someone else. If you want to build a team and have an established keeper, Joe Hart only has about a season left in him. Season, maybe 2 seasons max out of him. Benjamin Seacrest, I've tipped for 2 or 3 years we should have signed anyway. And I think he's a good keeper. I think he needs a bit more time in the nets. I don't have faith in Scott Bain, to be honest, which is I don't have faith in Barkas. I don't have faith in Hazard. I know Barkas is on loan. I don't have faith in Hazard. I know that some people might say that's a bit wrong. He helped us win a cup. Same time, you get way too stupid goals in the cup. And I know it was a learning experience from played a good game against Lille in the Europa League, but no, you need to get like Hope as well. Let me see. The league second beaters. Yeah, Rocks. I feel great with the draw. Okay, we're still 9 points clear. Push them a bit. Referees should have eyes on who they support. That is done in England, and these referees don't get involved in these games. 100%, especially with the Glasgow Bowl. You don't have a referee coming in who supports Celtic or Rangers. I think they're gonna have to tinsel. I don't care if they're on decent money and the whole world's watching them. You don't let them officiate the game. Simple as that. Even the VAR or fourth official, definitely not. Benjamin should be brought in since more. Definitely. And I know I'm gonna do a video on this, and I'm gonna talk about it. Like it's not a dig at Joe Hart. I just want more, like Joe Hart's a good keeper. He is a good keeper, and he just it's his ball work. It's just the ball gets to his feet. It's just you can't have that nerve. You shouldn't have that nerves. If you're champions of Scotland, you should feel comfortable with the ball at your feet. Should be feeling okay with your defenders. And I felt like, he's not doing the right things. And look at he got sussed out the other day. Um, yeah, that's it. I agree with you there. Completely agree with you. How's it going, Peter? I hope you're well. Yeah, that's it. It gives you anxiety. It gives me anxiety as well. Definitely. So if this is your first time coming across the channel, please hit the subscribe button below. I think the positive of Joe Hart is overweight. His negatives, passing from the back, certainly issue from him. As I said, he's a good shot stopper, good presence, but it's the final product of his distribution of the ball. Yes, he does a good skill where he gets the ball quick and gets rid of it quick, but at the same time, when the team's pressing on you, you can't keep it at the back for 3 or 4 minutes. Hoof it. We have enough tall players there to win a throw in if he goes out. You know, yeah. There's no way Ange's gone. As I said in this channel, if he doesn't get back in the summer, chance he could go. But it depends on if he how much what he wins. It depends how he wants to see Celtic going into the next season's Champions League. It was a learning curve for him anyway, so depends what comes in. I don't think he's gonna just leave for the sake of leaving Celtic. I think it's gonna have to be a big club for him to be lured. You got to think of it as well as a, a personal perspective on this. He's at the manager in Australia where he's from. He's at the manager in Japan for like I think it was nearly 3 years. He did manage in a brief spell in Greece as well. So for him to manage in these countries, and also he has young kids, it's not helping them as well. He wants to settle and be happy. Him and his missus and his kids want to be happy, and he's idolised by the fans. Why would you want to leave a club like Celtic? But money talks as well, folks. Unfortunately, that's what happens. Scott Bain doesn't have a future at Celtic. He was signed a new deal last season, and obviously I think he was still 24. Could be wrong. Starfeld's playing well. Starfeld's playing really well, and you got to give the hats off to Carter Vickers the other day. That tackle towards the end was outstanding. It was like a proper captain's tackle. No, they won't. They won't. Gives everyone a heart section. Nonsense, Keats. What else? I think Ange is here for 5 years. I don't think in modern day football much managers stay around for 5 years as much as I hate saying it. It doesn't happen. Like I know a lot of people have tipped them to stay longer than Martin O'Neill and leave a legacy. He's done a phenomenal job, and I don't think he will unless a club comes in and Celtic start talking. But he's on a rolling contract. That's the only problem as well. You have Ange, but his decision is look at we got a draw. I know people might say move on, get on with it, but his lineup the other day was shocking. You know, Moy should have been playing. Rio Tate had a really good game. You know, Jota should be playing for the start. Abana could have played from the start. Kyogo, yeah, he scored. Look at Taylor was injured. Starfelt played well most parts of the game. Carter Vickers played well, and Johnston played well. A lot of people were going to still put the finger on Johnson and say he's the problem for Kent's goal. Maybe he was. And look at did we get back into the game? Did we get the equaliser? We did. We did. That's it. If it's argument's sake, I know I'm going low with this. It's argument's sake, if it's only 10 million, we should put 3, 4 million into a right back and put the rest into a striker. Why not? We need a good striker. You know, just think about it. If Yakamakis goes and it's just Kyogo and this Chelsea Sun deal falls through from South Korea and we leave the window with just one striker and we just have Maeda and Kyogo, I don't think that's going to be enough for Celtic to win the league. As much as we have 20 goal difference, I think we need a good tall striker like Yakamakis that suits Ange falling it in there. Well, don't have him on the bench if he's not well. To be honest, don't have him on the bench if he's not well. I thought he done all right when he came on. Simple as that. Regardless if it was a dose of a flu or a bug, don't have him on the bench. If he's not 100%. I see it. But there was enough on the bench, and it did make change. Obviously, make changes. You bring Jota on, bring Abada on, bring Moy on. I think Moy needs to start against Kilmarnock on Saturday. Well, I hope he leaves in the summer instead. To be honest, Martin, I really do hope he leaves in the summer. But if the money's right, I don't think Midtjylland are going to spend 6 million on him. To be honest, as much as we would love to see him go for 6 million, but he's more of a surplus than a negative at the moment, and we need to keep Giakoumakis. I think the potential he has. He's really a good player, and he's a better finisher than Kyogo, but he's not getting a chance to prove that at the moment. He's not getting a chance. So yeah, not really playing well. Read it properly. Who's not playing well? Jota. Jota's not playing well. Well, obviously he picked up that injury, didn't he, before the World Cup, and he just didn't hit to the levels that he was at. And at the start of the season, he was cracking. Everybody's tipping him to obviously be the player of the season. And I agree with you, he's not playing well, but if you got the trust in the player in a big game like that, put him in. He scored a few times against Rangers, and that's what he's getting paid for. You know. But look, it is what it is. The result is done. Hopefully we can hammer Kilmarnock the weekend. I know. Look, Derek McInnes is a good manager, and I know they're lacking a strike at the moment. It's Lafferty still out suspending and stuff like that. But Kelly parked the bus, which do you blame them? I felt like park the bus. Most teams do. Moy McGregor are two of the best, just two of the best ball retaining midfielders in Scotland by a long way. We need to both start them. Definitely. I think so. I think you see Moy against Hibs the other night at Easter Road, quite composed, calm, and they have to. I just felt like, as I said already on this podcast tonight, Matt O'Reilly battled well, but he didn't do enough regards to attacking player in that part of the field. It's a bad move by Ange. And that's the thing, James, I was just going back to the whole Jovanovic playing left back. Jovanovic played left back a couple of times this season, or a couple of times last season, and he played well. I think he played left back 9 times last season. Could be wrong with the number, but I remember the start of his Celtic career, he played left back a good bit. And I don't know if the case that Ange went by that. That's my fear as well, to be honest with you. Is it a case that one performance brings his valuation down because it's being televised all over the world as one of the biggest derbies? These things happen in football. The thing is, GG is not doing well though. GG is not at the level where he's doing what we know he can do. We need him scoring again. We need to see Giakoumakis scoring again. Yes, he's getting stuck in and he's winning free kicks, and his physical threat is good, but we need him scoring again. That's what he's a striker. That's what he's there for. He has bonuses and incentives to be hit. So yeah. I think this new defensive midfielder will have to be brought in. Will push up Callum McGregor forward. I'd love to see Callum McGregor push forward, to be honest, which is obviously Ange now is Tamogi. Well, obviously worked with him. He signed him at Yokohama. So let's see what he's made of and get him on that pitch. Then he said he's still a bit off being at full level, which obviously the J League finished. So get him in when he's ready. Obviously, we want to see Karabashi play as well. See a bit of him. Let's see. Keep the comments going. Appreciate it. He needs more time in the park. Which one are we talking about now? I don't know. I just lost that comment before that. We'll get back to that. Celtic team did not play well on one night. That includes Ange. But look at still top of the league. Still top of the league. I know we didn't play well. I admit it. I'm not a problem being honest. We didn't play well. We were already stop go. Rangers put us under pressure certain parts. And look, that's natural for a team like that. Our home, and they're going to get a lot of ball possession. But look, we started off well, and look at we finished with the point that we needed to keep the 9 points there. So yeah, would you agree with Starfelt isn't the player he was that day against Hearts? I think Starfelt needs credit, to be honest. Okay, I think Starfelt against Hibs was pretty well. He had a bit of a lackluster game against Rangers. I think Starfelt gets a lot of critics thrown at him, and I think he's doing well. He's done well since he came back in, especially this season. So I'm on Starfelt's side. I think there's no point in bringing Jens in. I know Jens is a bit quality. Stephen Welch, I think he'll be gone in this window on loan somewhere. And Karabashi, we have to see he has to fight his way into the team. And I think obviously Alistair Johnson fought his way into the team during training. So we'll see what happens. But it's hard to get players like that these days in modern day football. Like a musician like Lubo. Lubo was a different level. God at Saint Etienne. Obviously Paul McStay, the Maestro, different level. It's very hard to get players. But you have if they're going to look at the youth as well, as you say. And that's why we need to keep Rockavata. Yeah. As I was saying, this time last year we were very critical of Starfelt, and look at he's really bringing onto his game, and he's keeping obviously Jens out, he's keeping Karabashi out, but he hasn't really had a chance yet. And Welch, Greg Taylor, obviously that I wouldn't give him the captaincy for that. Obviously he's taken a lot. He's obviously matured over a lot the last 2 to 3 years, Craig Taylor, and he's come up with goals and bits and bobs. He's become a better player. I think he's twice the player he was, and I wouldn't give him a captaincy just for that. It's obviously a bit of banter and stuff like that, but no, definitely not. You look, if he's a leader in the dressing room, like a few of the folk are, happy days. We need leaders on the pitch. Few leaders on the pitch. I think Starfelt's magic, him and CC, they are. When they're on form, they're brilliant, I think that's what I felt the other day, to be honest with you. Like the whole Jovanovic thing, I don't know if it's Jovanovic is living on a high ego now because he knows that other clubs are looking at him, and he knows that he's played in the highest stage, and he won a bronze medal. Look, I'm delighted Jovanovic. We're all delighted he got a World Cup bronze medal, but if you think he's bigger than the club, let him move on. Take the 15 minimum, even though I was saying last week, take 25. If that performance shoots down his ratings, just take the money. Look, we bought for 2.7. If we could sell him for the 10 times that amount, happy days. His head's been torn weeks. Like there was obviously talks about 7 weeks ago that he turned down the contract. To be honest with you, James. So see what happens. Now it's all speculation. Actions speak louder than words, as you say. Get him a statue beside Celtic Park. Who are we talking about now? Who are we talking? Is it Paul McStay you're talking about? Is it? Or Fergus McCann? And Taylor was never a wing back. No, definitely not. But look, he tried. He tried, obviously. Didn't work well for him in the Lennon regime. I think Andrews had to make them a much better player. Obviously, it could be the fear factor where that other players are coming in to keep them on his toes. But Bear the Bay, let's see what happens with him. See, does he get a bit of game time? Like to see him get a bit of game time. Really good at getting it forward. John Kenny was the same player as Johnson, passing. Oh, are you talking about John Joe Kenny now? Hopefully not him. God, no, he was just. Fanta needs to stay. Give him a bigger contract. Definitely 100%. I think Dawson's going to go on loan, to be honest. I know there's a couple of clubs that as far as I know, Kilmarnock are interested in taking him on loan. And I think that'd be good for Joey Dawson. Get him on loan. We've seen him against St. Johnson last season where looked like he scored up in Perth and then was cleared off the line. And obviously he scored against Rangers, the other Rangers B as well. So if Joey Dawson gets a move to the Premiership and gets to get senior football under his belt, happy days. We need to keep our youths. As I said on this channel, like we're not going to really change it if we're winning and there's a consistent flow of the team. And in all means, I like to see youth come through, but it's up to Ange. It's up to what he wants to do. And it was great to see Rocca Vata obviously coming on for the last 20 minutes against Hibs at Easter Roads, you know. They've done this before and it didn't work out. Done this in the early 2000s, as far as I remember. But I would like to see that being done, you know. Bosun Lahal or Hal, I think he'll be off in this window, to be honest, as much as I don't want to see him off. He looks like a machine, you know. Oh, stop you with it. Some boy, Ireland's top goal scorer. Shane, obviously, the situation with Shane was Shane just joined the club the wrong time. And, you know, would he suit Ange football now? Don't know. But he's done well at Fulham. Obviously, Brighton is his parent club. Um, but yeah, we're gonna be on for another 4 minutes, folks. Thanks very much for tuning in as well tonight. As I said, it was the last minute thing. Hopefully, get back on before the end of the week. If we can get on Friday night about 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, if I'm around, I'll get on and have a chat with you just as a little just a pre chat about the Kilmarnock game coming up. You know, no, definitely not. Too early for that. Too early for that. You know, there's bigger legends out there that needs bigger legends out there that need statues at Celtic Park, like Fergus McCann, you know, like a Paul McStay, you know, maybe like a Bertie Auld and stuff like that. You know, Ange is a legend. Yeah, he's done a legendary stats the way he's got us the league back and stuff like that. But definitely nowhere near statue level, yeah. Nowhere near statue level. You can put him on the Celtic Park mesh when we change the mesh around maybe next season or stuff like that. But definitely not. Definitely not. Legends. Ange needs to, even if you want to travel, he might go down as a legend. But we've had a couple of managers have won trebles and they're not legends in years of lives. So that's my argument's sake to it. Fergus first, of course. Cheers, mate. Have I settled into Scotland? Yeah, I've settled into Scotland. Steady. Hopefully, I'll be going to the St. Mirren game on the 18th. Good statue built of, okay, statue built of, yeah, seeing all this. So, yeah, that's it, folks. I'm going to jump off. Fit for bed. Just want to say a massive thank you to everyone that has tuned in tonight. Any suggestions of videos, please comment on the channel saying, could you do this video, Keith? I'd either say yes, or either say no. If it's my cup of tea and I feel comfortable doing it, I'll do a video on a certain topic, 100%. Now, if it keeps you interested, the more the better, you know. As I said, tell your friends about the channel. Just give it a share. There's a share button on the video there. Give it a share. Send it to your mates on WhatsApp or whatever. You know, they might like me, they might not like me. Can't keep everyone happy. So, statue of Paddy McCourt. We'll get that outside the Brandywell. We get that outside the Brandywell for Paddy McCourt, the Derry Pele. You know, what a man. What a man. When I was around that goal he scored against St. Mirren. Remember him coming off the bench. I was at the 3-0 game against Hearts back in 2010. Comes off the bench and literally, I think it was like 6 minutes to go, skins the last 4 players and puts it in. So, yeah, as I said, I'm glad you enjoyed the live. Great to see the comments. Great to see the comments. And as I said, tell CCV and Starfelt to pull up their hands at the face and block. Not a bad idea, Plunge. not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. Like, let's see what happens then, you know. Statue of Kenny Boy, all the statues. Get a statue for me as well for where we're at. um, no, I appreciate the support, folks. God bless. Look at, I'll be back tomorrow for more daily content, and want to get rid of this sore throat. We've been laughing. Take care, legends. Hello.